Hello friends, welcome back to the video series Learn HTML5 in a Day. In this video, you will discuss on the HTML versus XHTML. Practically know the difference. And what are the topics we should learn today? What is HTML? What is XHTML? Now the HTML versus XHTML. Now, how to migrate from the HTML to XHTML and how to migrate from XHTML to HTML. Now, the first one, what is HTML? HTML is short for Hypertext Markup Language. It is used to create websites and web applications. Let's break it down so we understand the name better. Hypertext. The hypertext refers to the text wrapped within a text. It is very similar to hyperlinks and contains an underlying text that, when clicked, redirects to a new web page. Now, the markup language. A markup language is not necessarily a programming language. Instead, it is used to apply formatting and layout to a simple text document. This leads to more interactive and dynamic text content. Next, what is XHTML? XHTML stands for Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. XHTML is almost similar to HTML, but it is stricter than HTML. It is swift, accurate, easily maintained, convertible, and formatted. Now, all major browsers support XHTML. So, what are the features of HTML and the XHTML? HTML and XHTML are two of the most popular markup languages used for developing web pages and applications. HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages, while the XHTML is a stricter and more standardized version of HTML. Both HTML and XHTML include a wide range of features such as support for multimedia, styling, and also the scripting. HTML and XHTML both have features to create rich and interactive web pages and the applications. Some of the most popular HTML and XHTML features include support for multimedia. Both HTML and XHTML support various forms of multimedia such as images, video, and audio. HTML also supports animated images and graphics. Now about styling of HTML and XHTML. Both HTML and XHTML offer a wide range of options for styling web pages. CSS, Cascading Style Sheets, is the most commonly used style sheet language, and it can be used to style both HTML and XHTML documents. Next one is the scripting. HTML and XHTML both support various forms of scripting such as JavaScript. Scripting can be used to add interactivity to web pages and applications. Now about forms. Forms are one of the most important features of HTML and XHTML. Forms allow users to input data which can then be processed by a server-side script. Now about tables. Tables are another important feature of HTML and XHTML. Tables can be used to display tabular data such as product information or the financial data. Now about the links. Links are one of the most basic features of HTML and XHTML. Links allow users to navigate between the web pages. Now, the final one, known as the metadata. Metadata is information about a web page or document. It can include information such as the author, keywords, and also the description. So HTML and XHTML are two of the most popular markup languages used for developing web pages and also the applications. So both HTML and XHTML include a wide range of features such as support for multimedia, styling and scripting. HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages, while XHTML is a stricter and more standardized version of HTML. So HTML and XHTML specifications are the standards that define the syntax and semantics of the hypertext markup language, that means HTML, and extensible hypertext markup language, that means XHTML respectively. They are maintained by the World Wide Web Consortium, that means W3C. The latest versions of the HTML and XHTML specifications are known as HTML5 and XHTML5 respectively. So these specifications are the basis for all modern web browsers and define the standard for how HTML documents are structured and processed. So now, how to migrate from HTML to XHTML? There are a few key things to keep in mind when migrating from HTML to XHTML. First, XHTML is more strict than HTML, so you will need to make sure your code is well formed and error free. Second, XHTML requires all elements to be properly nested and closed, so you will need to be careful about that as well. Finally, XHTML also requires all attributes to be properly coded, so you will need to make sure you do that as well. So with these things in mind, let's take a look at how to actually migrate your code from HTML to XHTML. The first thing you will need to do is make sure your code is well formed and error free. So this means ensuring that all tags are properly nested and closed and that all attributes are properly coded. Once you have made sure your code is error free, you will need to add the proper doc type declaration to the top of your document. This will tell you the browser what type of document to expect and how to handle it. Next, you will need to change the root element of your document from HTML to XHTML. This is simply a matter of changing the opening and closing tags from HTML to XHTML. Now that you have the basic structure of your document in place, you will need to start converting your HTML elements to their XHTML counterparts. This is generally just a matter of changing the tag names, but there are a few exceptions. For example, the B element should be changed to strong and the I element should be changed to EM. Once you have converted all of your HTML elements to their XHTML counterparts, you will need to make sure all of your attributes are properly coded. This means using double quotes around all attribute values. Finally, you will need to add a few extra XHTML attributes to some of your elements. Now, how to migrate from XHTML to HTML? When migrating from XHTML to HTML, there are a few key things to keep in mind. First, XHTML is a subset of XML, meaning that it is more strict than HTML. This can cause issues when trying to migrate your content, as some things that may have worked in HTML may not work in XHTML. In addition, XHTML also uses a different doc type than HTML, so you will need to make sure to update your doc type declaration when migrating your content. Finally, XHTML also has a few additional tags and attributes that are not supported in HTML. So you will need to remove or replace any instances of these before you content will be compatible with HTML. With these tips, migrating from XHTML to HTML should be a relatively easy process. So, the final conclusion: HTML and XHTML are both markup languages used to create web pages and applications. HTML and XHTML have some key differences that set them apart, but they also share some similarities. XHTML is an extended version of HTML, and both languages are used for developing web and Android based applications.